You're not being released here. You must be arrested. We'll open a case now.
Pardon?
We'll open a case no. Now. This man must not be allowed to go out of this country.
I did not come here on a summons. I came here of my own free will, and I'm leaving your country.
This is how fraud examiner Paul O'Sullivan's testimony came to an end last Thursday. And maybe third time's the charm, as Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee has resolved to have him return for the completion of his testimony this Thursday. However, his abrupt departure is not without consequence.
7A of the PIPLA is of particular relevance. It provides that a person may not improperly interfere with or impede the exercise or performance by Parliament, a House or committee of its authority or functions. So, honourable members, on a plain and grammatical interpretation of the term impede, it denotes conduct that is obstructs or hinders the progression of Parliament's work. In leaving the proceedings prematurely, Mr. O'Sullivan's actions may reasonably be construed as interfering with or impeding the committee in the execution of its mandate.
The committee's terms of reference require that it assess the veracity of the allegations of capture of South Africa's criminal justice system. O'Sullivan faces allegations that he was deeply involved in policing oversight investigations, making his testimony material to the investigations of interference in policing operations, and his exit may trigger other provisions of the statute.
The Constitutional and Legal Service Officers is of the view that Mr. O'Sullivan has potentially committed a statutory offence in terms of Section 7A, read with 27 of the PIPLA.
And members of Parliament are clear that his reappearance on Thursday has no bearing on his previous conduct.
We've gone through the legal opinion and we concur with most of the legal opinion, except for what we think is a very narrow reading of, I think it's Section 17, if I'm not mistaken, of PIPLA, where I think in the interpretation, the legal advice given to us seems to suggest that because he was not summoned, he was only invited.
But were lawmakers aware of O'Sullivan's time constraints?
We never make any agreements or enter into any agreements with anybody, any witnesses, because we don't have the authority to do so. What we do is to say we will convey whatever it is to the committee chair. We normally do that through Bonani. And in this case, it was made. There was no agreement that Mr. O'Sullivan should leave early.
MPs are steadfast, however, arguing that O'Sullivan still cannot dictate the time he ought to appear before the fact-finding body. It will now refer its resolution to the Speaker of the National Assembly. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Zoleka Qodashe in Cape Town.